Did you ever have any? Because you don't smoke weed now, do you?
No.
No. Did you smoke? You smoked weed back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Do you have any like drug? Like, I was just thinking about this the other day about like, because we used to be into it pretty heavy, and then so like I just thought about like old drug stories and old like getting way too high stories. Like I remember one time, dude, I don't know why I thought about this, but I just wrote down like telling drug stories from teenagehood. I would have been in 8th grade, and we did gravity bongs at lunch. And,
Holy fuck.
And the shit, and it was fucking lace. And like, dude, here's the thing. Like, already, it took me so long to realize that like I don't really like smoking weed. I always just did it every single day for like a decade because I just thought that was what you should do. Like, I was like, this is, whatever, right? But like, it took me so long to just realize like I don't even want to be doing this. Yeah. But I remember getting so high in the 8th grade, smoking gravity bongs at lunch. And the weed was like, swear to God, it was laced. And I've never been the kind of guy that like gets too high or whatever. And it's like, oh, the shit was laced. It's like, it wasn't laced. You're just like, dude, it was full on. Like it was the equivalent to like my LSD trip in freshman year. Like it was fucking bananas. And I'm in 8th grade. So we go do gravity bongs and we're already like, we're doing them. And do you remember doing bong hits or anything where like it gets caught in your lungs and you're like coughing up a storm and you can't breathe?
Oh yeah, you're coughing for 10 minutes. Yeah.
And you're literally like, I think I'm gonna die.
Yep.
That happened. We're already late for 3rd period. So I walk into 3rd period. Dude, I'm walking in and it's like, do you remember the Kanye album? I think it's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where it's all pixelated. Like it's almost like that, like it's like look like almost like Lego type shit.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
I
yeah.
walk into the class, open up the door, and this is at Haythorne Junior High School. Open up the door, and apparently I stood in the doorway for 5 minutes just staring into the class because I didn't know where to go, like where to sit, like where whatever. And the teacher was like, "Hey," and I was like, not just non-responsive. And apparently I was just pale, like I'm about to green out. I'm about to green out. Is the fucking spoiler of the story. And like, and I don't have any books, and I reek like weed.
Of course.
Reek like weed, right?
Gravity bongs.
Of course, yeah, and we were doing them in a shed. Like, we were hotboxing a shed with the gravity bongs. Like, I am fucking torched, dude.
Yep.
And so then I sit down, and apparently, and again, I'm just like tripping this whole fucking time, just tripping. And I didn't open up my books, didn't do anything. And I remember like one of my buddies tapped me on the back, and I turned around, and he went, "Oh." Like when he seen me, he went, "Oh." And I just remember like being like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Apparently I asked to go to the bathroom. And again, this is all like, I don't even really remember this. Asked to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I thought I was gone for like a minute to go like look in my eyes and be like, holy shit, dude, lock in. Apparently I was gone for the rest of the period. So I came back to the classroom, and it's a different class because it's 4th period now. And I walk in, and again, tripping. So now I'm seeing different people.
You're just like, you just time traveled in your eyes.
Yeah, just fucking time traveled because the class had switched over in the time. I was gone for like 30 minutes apparently. And don't even remember it.
You're just 30 minutes staring at yourself in the mirror.
Staring
like,
at myself, telling
people
myself
are probably
to
coming
lock
in, taking a piss, like, and you just can't look away from yourself.
No, swear to God. And so now I see different people, and that obviously sets off a whole new, like, oh my God. And the teacher of that classroom was like, yo, who are you? Like, what's up, dude? And I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Leave. I go down to like my locker. I'm like, dude, lock the fuck in. So I go down my locker. I look at like what my schedule is. I'm like, where is this fucking class? I remember it was such a struggle to find, and I know where it's halfway through.
Yeah,
the
you
year.
know the school.
You know the school. You know where. But I remember being like, where the fuck am I supposed to go right now? And I was like looking, and I looked in my locker at the schedule, and I was like, okay, room fucking 302 or whatever, right? Like, come on, dog. Lock the fuck in. Like I was probably at my probably like a schizophrenic. I was probably at my locker like this, going like oh,
Come on, you got it. Come on.
like staring into the locker, like, oh.
Mind you, everybody's already in class.
Everyone's already in
hallways
class.
are empty.
So they probably hear me talking to myself and they're like looking out like, what the fuck is that kid?
Yeah.
Right. And now at this point, unbeknownst to me, my teacher had already told the principal like, yo, Connor's smoking. Connor just is high as fuck on weed, fucking whatever. Right. So I go to my fourth period class. I walk in. I don't have any books, and I don't have any books. I'm empty-handed.
You're just walking in.
No binder, no textbook, no nothing. I just walk in.
Soak it in.
Yep. I walk in and I had a seat in the front. And I walk in and I sit down and I just like this. Like and everyone was like reading. Like it was like, yo, we're reading this chapter of the textbook, whatever, like this. And I'm just sitting like this. And I remember like kind of at one point like not sobering up, but like stopping tripping and looking at my teacher, and my teacher's just like like, and I just remember being like, oh, and I remember my thoughts. It's so like, it's crazy how you think back to this shit. And I remember my thought was, if I look away, that problem goes away. Like,
Dude, your teacher like going like that, and you're just like like a fucking psycho. Just a slow turn of the head, the whole body.
And I remember being like, if I can't see her, that problem's gone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so then I get called down to the office and there's cops there, and I didn't have any weed on me. I didn't have any weed in my locker, no nothing. So they couldn't, and they searched my locker. They did everything like this. They tried to ask me who I was with at lunch. I ain't fucking snitch. Right. And then, and it was like, so I just said I was sick. I just said I was sick. And they were like, dude, we know you're high. Like, we know you smoked weed. We know you got weed on you. We know, like, whatever. Where were you? Who are you with? All this kind of shit. And I just, and mind you, I'm still fucking fried. But I still
you're
was
still
like,
out of your mind.
yeah. And I'm in 8th grade. And I was like, nah, I'm just sick. I'm just sick. And they couldn't fucking, I had nothing. They couldn't fucking prove anything. So then they called my parents to come pick me up. And my mom, bless her heart, had like, she was clueless to it.
Yeah.
Kinda. And so she was like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, school told me you were sick or whatever like this, right? And because I don't think they could tell my mom that if it wasn't, I couldn't remember what it was, but I remember like afterwards kind of like having discussions about like what, because surely they would have just told my mom, but I don't think they could have or whatever. But my mom didn't know, and my dad is very savvy on that type shit. And so, and my dad had already, you're in 8th grade, like me, at least myself, like I'm already, fighting with my parents every day. They're finding weed in my jacket. So they're already like, Connor, you fucking piece of shit, mother. Like, so then I get, I get a phone call from the school saying like, basically greened out, but your son says he's sick. And then my dad comes, my mom was like, okay, I'll get you a glass of cold water. And then my dad just comes home from work and he's just like, what the fuck you doing, dude?
Like, yeah. Like, what are you doing with your life?
Who the fuck are you? And I was just remember I had this blue like Disney blanket, and I was just on the couch like this, like almost fucking crying,
fucking going through it,
dude. It was a blue it was some Disney movie like custom blanket that my grandma made, and I was just like this, like greening the fuck out, throwing
like
up.
15 years old, just holding on for dear life,
literally like this. And then my mom was like, he's sick, whatever. And my dad was just like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. What a fucking moron.
Yeah. Do you remember when you stopped smoking weed?
Probably grade 11, around there.
Yeah.
But I never really, I think there was a couple times that I smoked weed and like went back to school. Like same thing, like lunchtime, whatever, smoke weed somewhere, and then it's like go back to school. I think I did it once or twice, and both times, like I walked in the school, tried to go to one class, and like literally halfway through the class, I was like, this is terrifying. Like, I'm not enjoying myself at all.
I'm not enjoying myself.
And just go home. I'm just like this. I have so much anxiety. Everybody knows. I know I stink.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there like just like writing my name on the paper. Like if I look away from the paper, everybody's gonna be staring at me because they know I'm high. So I'm just sitting there writing Matt.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah. Matt. Fuck, dude. I remember so many times just like getting high at school and then like walking into school and being like, fuck, dude. And just like in your head, you're like, fuck. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
God damn it. I got stupid high again.
Yeah. And then like walking into science, I remember in grade 10 walking into science and had a test that I didn't know about. And I was like,
That's
fuck.
crazy.
Like, and I was high, and I literally think I got a 0 on it. Like, I remember just being like, fuck. And like, I had I'll maybe edit this part out, but I had in that class. And we would always do this thing where he'd look at me and he'd be like, eh. Like he'd just do these like weird faces. And he was in front of me a little bit. So I walk in late, like 15 minutes late again. And then he every day he would look back at me and go like, eh. And he looked back at me and he went like, eh. Oh.
Oh God.
Because I was probably just sitting at my desk
like drooling.
Save me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Do you ever get like too high? Did you ever have like a too high moment?
I've never greened out, but there was one time, same thing, grade 8. My buddy's older sister had and whatever, we smoked weed with her a bunch, but she bought a 6-foot bong. Damn. So you had to get on a chair to fucking do it. And so like, whatever, she it's brand new. It's in her room. She's like, come try it out. I'm like, cool. Sounds like fun. And so, she does it. A couple of other people are trying it out. And I was like, fuck it. Let me get up there. So whatever, do the business and clear it. And she's like, you have to do it in one pull. You have to clear the whole fucking
That was
thing.
always the fucking rule. It was
and it's
so
like,
hard.
It's crazy, dude. I'm like, again, 15-year-old kid. These older siblings, friends are all around. Like, you have to do it, have to clear it. And so I'm sit there, clear the whole thing. And same thing, sitting there coughing for 10 minutes, feel myself get to the too high point.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't want to be in this room. I don't want to be with these people anymore. I want to be in my bed, cozied up, away from everything. Yeah. That's where I want to be right now.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting in there, whatever, still kind of smoking. And I'm like, I have to go downstairs for a bit.
Dude,
so like a psycho.
The craziest thing ever is when someone says they have to leave a room. Like, dude.
That's all it was. I just needed to get away.
Like, have you ever tried to leave a room like without being in the conversation? It's the hardest thing in the world.
Well, it's also like, dude, if I was sober, I would have just got up.
But like,
I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
But I had to be like, I'm going downstairs.
You announced
Everybody's like, okay? Like, and dude, I went
I'm
downstairs.
leaving!
Went downstairs and I laid face down on his couch, like arms to the side. And I was sure I was dying. Like, I was positive. I was like, I'm going to die on this couch from being too high. And then I'm sitting there for, I don't know how long it was. Could have been a minute, could have been 4 days. I don't know. And so I'm like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom because I think I'm going to throw up. And like, my buddy comes down, he checks him. He's like, oh, fuck, you're really, really, really high. And I'm like, yeah, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm in the bathroom next to the toilet in case I have to throw up. And I pass out because whatever, it's just, I don't know how long I was sitting there for. And I wake up still like, in the corner next to the toilet's like here. Like, I'm just kind of like this, like a ball. And I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I was out for a bit, like a little nap, maybe an hour, maybe 2. I was asleep for 9 hours.
No fucking way.
I took a full, and it was probably like 5 p.m. when we started smoking.
Yeah.
And I woke up and it was like 2 a.m. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, I went and found my buddy and he's like, oh yeah, like I just left you because it seemed like you were comfortable and having a good sleep. And I was like, dude, what?
You were comfortable having a good sleep, fucking head off the toilet?
Yeah, everybody just kind of continued their night. And he's like, oh yeah, I just left you. I'm like, you couldn't have got me a blanket or like stretched me out or anything? He's like, no, just left you.
That's fucking hilarious.
But I was kind of like thankful. I was like, I just kind of escaped how high I was. Like, I just slept.
Yeah. You got out of it. Yeah.